o'clock at night, we're about to go to bed, and then we could start hearing the nightlife. People started coming out, and there was chatter, and you could just hear people. It was like bustling and so refreshing. It was like, oh, life is happening outside, and people are enjoying themselves, and they were having fun, and they were enjoying the evening, even though it was 10 o'clock at night, and I had no problem sleeping. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you are all doing really well today. So I thought that this video would just be very simple, and you're just gonna get ready with me, and I wanna chit chat with you. I want to know how everything is going with you guys. Summertime's coming up. Is anybody going on vacation? Is anybody have any fun summer memories from childhood? Or, you know, what new and exciting things are you guys going to be doing over the summertime? Tell me about it in the comments below. I would love to hear about it. I will respond to your comments. One of the things that I love about YouTube is that I get to connect with people who I'll never meet and who might be across the country or across the state or across the world. So it is really definitely a privilege to be able to do that. So my face is already prepped. I do have my tried and true eye primer, the Urban Decay primer potion, the original, but I do have a little bit of a different face primer. You guys will be proud. I'm using the Loreal Magic Perfecting Base. It's great for oily skin. You can see I have hit pan on it. It's great. I will be repurchasing it. If you have pores or oily skin, it works really, really well. So I'm using that. And then today's palette, it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. It is... It's a mess. I'm sorry, you guys, but it's well loved. It's the Norvina by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It is a beautiful, beautiful palette. Look at that. This is romance. This palette, if you want to get romantic, you want to have a romantic look, you use this palette. So I wasn't even going to put up any videos this week because life this week has been super busy. It is the end of the school year. Summertime's coming up. So my son is in VPK and it's his last day of school today. And it was really emotional for me. So I thought, well, let me sit down really quick. Let me talk to the people of YouTube. Let me get my mind off of some things and, you know, hang out with you guys. Unload a little bit. Sometimes talking is really, it's just a nice thing. But, you know, on my channel, I always keep it really, really positive. But, yeah, so what about you guys? Tell me about you guys. Summertime for us, you know, I don't know. This is very uncharted territory for us. My husband and I only have one child. He's 5. VPK here in Florida is a free service, and it's pre-kindergarten. By the way, I'm just going into Love. I'm going to use that as my transition color. So he's been, you know, sometimes change is really difficult. Although change is very, very good, sometimes it can be really difficult. You know, he's in a place where I know that he is safe. He's in a place where I know that he is well taken care of. The classroom is small. I think he's only got about 13 in his class. The teachers are very involved. They're very engaged, and they very much care about these children. They really adore these kids, and they're very passionate about their job, and they take it very seriously, as probably most teachers would. I mean, or at least I would hope they would. But you know, that's ending. And when you're comfortable, you know how it is. When you're comfortable in something and then all of a sudden it comes to an end and it's time for you to move on to that next step, to an unknown territory, it can be a little uncomfortable, right? But that's life, you know, and that's the beauty of life. We move from strength to strength, and even though it might be a little uncomfortable, it's very necessary to do that. You know, you want to build your character, you want to build strength, you want to experience things, you want to be involved in things, you just want to grow as a person, and that starts at obviously a very, very young age. So summertime, I have no clue. I have no clue what we're going to be doing for the summertime. Let's see. Let's start darkening up this crease a little bit. I'm going to go into Soul. He had his little graduation ceremony this morning, and I was like bawling my eyes out. Trying not to bawl my eyes out, but, you know, anyways, it's like my little man. My little man is moving on and upward. So he'll start kindergarten in our area here on August. And anyways, anybody watching anything fun on Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, Amazon Prime? My husband and I have Amazon Prime, and we have a couple shows that we like to watch. We like to watch NCIS because it's not overly violent now or intense. Now it's got, you know, its moments, but there's also enough comedy. They kind of break it up with a little bit of comedy. It's kind of like they know when they're getting really, really intense, and they kind of break it up a little bit. And then you're like, you come back to reality and you're like, oh, thank goodness. Okay. This is just make believe, you know? We like to watch that, but right now we're watching the Star Trek, like all the Star Treks, because it's on Paramount. So we have Amazon Prime, but you also have to pay a separate subscription for Paramount, which is an extra $10 a month. So we've gone through most of the Star Treks, and I'm talking like the original. Like we just watched the original. Now we're on Discovery, and we started Discovery, which has been really good so far. I think we're only on like the third episode of that, third or fourth, and then we're on oh my gosh, I can't remember. The one with Scott Bakula, who's the captain. Oh my gosh, it escapes me. Anyway, so we're almost in the second season of that. And I feel like the Star Trek series just overall is very, very good. It's not too intense or too heavy. You know, it's not. And I'm going to go in with the color right here. It's called Base. I'm going to just do a little bit on the brow bone. Sometimes putting on makeup can just make you feel a little bit better. Kind of like, what am I going to do with my son all summer? So putting on some makeup make me feel a little bit better. I think I'm going to go in with rose gold right here. Glitter glue on my eyes to help it stick. And I do like using this base booster from BH Cosmetics, which is called Base Booster. And I'm sorry if you can hear yard work happening outside my window. I'm like, is anybody going to go on a trip? Tell me about it. My husband and I love to travel, but since the birth of our son, it's been so difficult to travel, you know, with a small, you know, child. And I know lots of people do that, but my son, extremely active. I mean, very active, needs constant stimulation. So, and then me being kind of an older mom, my energy is not like it was like when I was in my late 20s, or, you know, my husband and I, we kind of started a little bit later in life, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. You know, there is definitely pros and cons to having children early in life and or having children later in life. So can you guys tell? I need to talk. I need to have like a conversation. So my son's at school and my husband's at work. So he just had to leave. So right after our son's graduation, he had like 30 minutes later, he had to go to work. So I'm here, I'm by myself, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna talk to the people. So, I just did not want to have to prepare so many things to bring, like, to travel. It's like when you have a small child, a baby even, you have to bring so much stuff because you have to anticipate every single thing that they might possibly need. I'm going to move on to face and then I'll come back to the eyes. I feel like I could talk better doing my face than versus my eyes. You have to anticipate like everything. And we probably, like as a mom, I probably read too much into it because honestly, my husband, it's like, he's like, oh, I'm going to go somewhere. So he just takes the kid and goes. Me, I'm like, oh, I have to plan all this out. And like 30 hours later, you know, finally I'm getting everything prepared. But, you know, my son is still alive. Even though my husband doesn't plan or anticipate. They're just like, I'm gonna just wing it, you know, and I'm totally not like that. So, if you're a mom, you know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, now that he's a little older, he's a little bit more manageable, you know, because I can actually talk to him and tell him to calm down. Like I said, he's super active, high energy. Constant stimulation. You know, he wants constant stimulation. He's constantly learning. I think a lot of kids are like that. I know my husband, his dad, of course, was very hyperactive as a kid. And it's not ADHD or anything like that. It's just, he's just very active and he, smart. He's super smart, very intelligent. And it might be that because he's an only child, that might have something to do with it. Because there are no other children that we need to focus on. So he gets, you know, all of the attention. Moving on to concealer. The e.l.f. Camo Concealer, matte finish, works great. It's amazing stuff. You know, when my husband and I did travel, like, out of the country, you know, of course, one of my favorite places to visit, of course, is Italy. Oh, I love Italy. One day we'll get back there. But one of the funnest places we ever been to and was Thailand. And I'll tell you, Thailand is fun. And it is a beautiful, beautiful country. If you've been to Thailand, comment below, because I know that you guys will agree with me. You know, when you go to Thailand, the American dollar is worth so much over there. So you can literally just do anything and everything. And it's very, very cheap. And the people are so friendly and they're so nice. And my husband is Thai. His mom is from Thailand. So that's why we were able to go to Thailand. And it's so nice because she, you know, she speaks the language. So getting, you know, cabs or tuk-tuks was very easy, and getting around was easy. Well, easier, I should say, but she has said that the language is evolving, that even like when she was in Bangkok, she said there were some people that she absolutely did not understand. She could not communicate because the Thai that she learned, they're not learning, you know, and it has just evolved. But for the most part, we were able to get around just fine. And we had such a great time doing that. And, you know, getting a massage, a full-blown Thai massage, was like maybe $3 American. It might be a little bit more now because of inflation. I want to say, when did we, I can't remember exactly when we went, but by the way, you guys, like and subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Just click on the button and subscribe. I would love to expand my YouTube family. I know I addressed this once in a video before, that of course people want to make money off YouTube. They want to make it big on YouTube, and that's a long-term goal, something you're gonna have to work really hard to do, and it can be very lucrative and pay off. Your hard work can definitely pay off, but an immediate benefit is that I just get to sit here and get to talk to you guys. You guys get to, I get to have access to people and socialize, and just being able to have access to people. Okay, because I think generally we want to be around each other. We want to talk. We want to communicate. Communication, you know, is such a great thing. If you just say, hey, I'm from Delaware, or hi, I'm from Germany, or hi, I'm from wherever. I love being able to connect with you guys on that type of level. And of course I love makeup, but being able to connect with people that you would never be able to connect with on a regular everyday basis, you know, like out and about, that's a lot of fun for me. So anyways, like and subscribe, comment below. Like I said, I will respond to your comments. I'm not, you know, I don't have thousands upon thousands and thousands of comments that I can't reply to you. And that's why, but I feel like that's really important. I do have YouTubers that I'm subscribed to, and they don't respond, and I know they're able to, and I don't judge because I don't know what's going on in their lives, you know. They truly might just have another job, or they just might get really busy, and it just like slips their mind. I mean, that happens all the time. But I don't want to be out of touch with you guys. I really want to connect with you guys. I just think that is really, I don't know, I just feel like that's really important. I don't know, I'm being goo-goo. As you guys can tell, I'm being emotional today. Oh my gosh. I was like, do I want to film a YouTube video? Am I going to cry and ruin my makeup? Underneath here. So anyways, talking about Thailand. Oh, we got to take beautiful boat rides. We got to go to islands. I mean, we stayed in Bangkok for like 4 or 5 nights. My mother-in-law has friends, possibly distant relatives, I couldn't really remember, who own a guest house, and so we got to stay there, and it was lovely. And I want to say, with meals, our stay, which included Wi-Fi, it included air conditioning, and then you pay for your meals, you know, like breakfast, and they had a laundry service where you just put your clothes, like your dirty clothes, in a hamper outside your door, and that lets them know to wash, and they would fold it really nice for you, and they would put it back by your door. I want to say 4 or 5 nights, it only cost us like $300 American. So you can imagine, we were getting massages every day. I was getting my toes polished. I was getting my nails done. Shopping around the markets. Oh my gosh, so much fun, because everybody's trying to like get your attention, and you know, they want you to buy from them, and then you get to like you know, negotiate a price. Oh, it was so much fun just interacting with the Thai people. Very nice. And the food, delicious, of course. And one of my favorite things was going on the floating market. Oh my gosh. All right, let's do some mascara. The Princess, the Essence Princess Lash Mascara, great stuff. Going on the floating market, was phenomenal. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. You ever go to Thailand, go to a floating market. It is so much fun. You take a boat and and the market is around you and the water's in the middle and you're just taking a boat, and they have these long hooks. Okay, these long hooks, and if you even glance in their direction, they take their long hook and they pull your boat over so that you can look at their merchandise. Oh, so fun. And it was such a wonderful and fun experience. And to also be there with my husband, he got to meet distant relatives that he never met, and being there, of course, with my in-laws. Now, at that time, my husband and I were not married yet, but to be there to experience something like that, especially my mother-in-law's, you know, in her environment where she grew up, you know, her old stomping ground, and it was just really neat to be there. And we did get to meet some distant relatives, and we got to see the way that they lived, very modest. There was no furniture in the home. There was several family members that lived in the home. They had a lot of land, and they showed us how they made rubber from the rubber trees and how they harvested that. Really, really neat stuff, but so kind and so gracious, you know, the Thai people are. Also got to rent like little scooters and ride around, which, you know, they drive on the opposite side of the road than we do here in America. So figuring that out was very, you know, was interesting, but we had a great time. It was a great time. Going around the markets, having great Thai food, learning some history. Eyes are pretty much done. I think I might tightline, but let's move on to the brows really quick. Have a favorite place that you love to visit and why? Tell me about it. I love to hear about it. I haven't gotten to travel, like I said, in a long time, especially overseas with, you know, recent events and stuff like that. But no, COVID hasn't necessarily kept us from traveling. I think it's just more so waiting for my son to just get a little bit older so he's more manageable, so I don't have to carry as much stuff with me. You know, he's, you know, obviously he's potty trained, you know, he can eat normal food, like at a restaurant. Like I don't need to, you know, maybe possibly bring him a change of clothes. And that might not even need to be even necessary at this point. One of my fondest memories traveling was when my husband first took me to Italy. We weren't married yet. We were, actually it was only like 6 months into our relationship. We had an opportunity to go to Italy, so we went. And of course, it's something that I've always wanted to do since I was a little girl. Like I dreamed about going to Italy, dreamed about traveling, things like that. We flew into Milan, and you know, you're completely jet lagged. You're in a foreign country. Neither one of us, of course, speak the language, and we're not really sure what to do or how to do it. And but we were just having fun. You know, we just thought, oh, this is so great. You know, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Afterglow in the color Fetish. It looks like this. Beautiful color. One of my favorite, hands down. One of the best blushes on the planet. Anyway, so we got lost. We accidentally misunderstood. Oh God, my hair. You guys, y'all know I live in Florida. We misunderstood where the train was taking us. It took us 30 minutes in the opposite direction of our bed and breakfast, which was in the countryside of Milan. And so we had to go back, and we got to the place where our car rental was, which really wasn't too far from the Milan airport. And we finally got into our car rental, and we got lost for the next 12 hours. Seriously, we took an entire tour, I swear, of all of Milan. We didn't know where we were going. We couldn't, back then there was no GPS in the vehicle. And we had smartphones back then, but okay, this is 2010. So we had smartphones, but they weren't like totally equipped yet with like international. At least we didn't have, you know, we weren't totally familiar with it. But so we were lost, very lost. But the wonderful thing about being lost in Italy, so strikingly beautiful. Everywhere you look is beauty. And there's history, and it's old, and there's character, and it's just, you know, to me, it was probably our fondest. Now, we were tired, you're jet lagged, you're frustrated, you're hungry, you're dirty, you know, you've been traveling, you want to get out of your clothes, you want to brush your teeth, you want to get a good meal, you want to settle in, you want to go see the sights. But something like that, man, what an opportunity to just explore and look and just enjoy the countryside. Because a lot of where we were was like deep in the country. And we stopped at this little pizza place, I remember. And bless their hearts, they tried so hard. I think one of the sons spoke a little bit of English. He tried so hard. The whole family tried so hard to help us. And he even went online and printed out like directions off like Yahoo or something. Do y'all remember doing that before we had our smartphones? Like now we have our smartphones, of course, and we have Google Maps and it'll take us wherever. But back then, like I said, you know, it wasn't as available as it is now. And plus they're deep in the country. So they tried so hard, but we had a good meal. They tried really hard to accommodate us. They were very kind. And the directions were not very good. And even though the directions were in English, all of their like signs and road maps and you know, just directions were in Italian. So finally we got to our bed and breakfast in Milan after stopping several times. And right before we got to our bed and breakfast, we were so close, within like a couple miles, we stopped in this tiny little village. I mean, tiny little village. And there was this little old man. He was walking his little dog. And I stopped and I was just like, in very little broken Italian that I know, you know, we're lost. Trying to get him to tell me, just, I know we're close, but we couldn't quite get to where we wanted to go. Can you tell us, you know, is it left, it's right? And he knew the bed and breakfast that we're staying at. And he just did hand motions like, you know, you go straight. So he's just like straight, because he is speaking a lick of English. Because if he knew how desperate we were to get to this place, and he was trying to communicate with me. So had he known any English, he would have eventually spoken English and was like, yeah, go left, go right, you're only a couple miles from there. But he, you know, he was like, you go straight, and then you're gonna go down you're gonna almost kind of like down a hill and then around a curve. And I kind of knew a little bit of what he was saying. So I was like, okay, honey, I think we found it. And sure enough, we went straight, we went like around a curve, we went down like a hill, and there it was. Finally, we got there. And and we had a wonderful room. We stayed in a beautiful bed and breakfast. We finally got there 12 hours later. Man, we were like done with the day, but we were starving. So we didn't get to a restaurant until about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And the people who were at the bed and breakfast had let us know that there's a really great restaurant in walking distance. So we went there, we did that. We had a nice meal. So we walked, and I was a lot younger back then, and I'll tell you, after being lost for 12 hours, being jet lagged, I put on I put on makeup. I put on a nice outfit. I put on heels. Yeah, I put on heels and I walked to this restaurant that was like half a mile. And we had a great dinner. And then we walked back. And about 10 o'clock at night, we're about to go to bed. And then we could start hearing the nightlife. People started coming out and there was chatter and you could just hear people. It was like bustling but not in a way that was distracting or annoying. It was like, I was trying to go to sleep, but it was like so refreshing. It was like, oh, life is happening outside and people are enjoying themselves. And it wasn't anything too loud. It wasn't like they were playing loud music. It wasn't like they were partying, but they were having fun and they were enjoying the evening, even though it was 10 o'clock at night. And I had no problem sleeping. It was great. So we stayed in Milan, I want to say 2 or 3 nights. We explored around there a little bit. And then we moved on to, I think we stayed a night in Pisa. So of course, we had to do the whole, pretend like you're touching the tower and kicking the tower. And we had to do all that. We went over to Rome. We did not go as far down south as Rome was as far down south as we went. And we were in a ridiculous smart car. Okay. A smart car, like, those little tiny compact smart cars. We drove the heck out of that thing all the way from Milan, all the way down to Rome, all the way from Rome, all the way back up to Milan again. And it's a pretty good stretch and put some miles on there. But you know how like the roads are so small and parking and everything is like congested. We were able to fit in areas with that smart car that we would never been able to fit in a bigger car. We were able to like do U-turns on like a sidewalk. We were able to squeeze into like a parking spot that we would never have done with a bigger car because we had this little tiny smart car. Now we did not look cool driving this car down the highway while everybody's zooming past us, on the Autobahn, or the Autobahn might be what Germany calls it. But that fast lane that they have, man, we didn't look very cool. That's all right. I'm going to these lips. I'm talking too much. It's good though. It's distracting me from, but anyways. So summertime, we have passes to, because we live in Florida, so we have passes. Hold on, let me do this. Let me line these lips. We have passes to SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, and then both of their water parks. So SeaWorld's water park is Aquatica. Busch Gardens is Adventure Island. Revlon lipstick in Primrose, beautiful, beautiful color. Will complement this romantic makeup look. See that? Look how pretty that color is. And then I'm going to add this Catrice. It's a lip oil. It's their Glossy Lip Oil, and it is in the color Cherry Blossom Glow. I do really like this stuff. It gives a very, very subtle sheen to the lips if it's just by itself without any lip gloss. Or I'm sorry, without any lipstick. But it gives a beautiful shine, to the lips. One more thing before I spray. I want to highlight. So, one of my favorite highlighters on the planet. If I only had one highlighter to take, or that I could have, it would be MAC Soft and Gentle. By far, the best universal, all skin tones, all skin types. Any eye look that you do, this will complement it beautifully. Now, I hope that if there was ever a situation where I could take more than one highlight, absolutely. But if it was just one, it would be Soft and Gentle. I bought this specifically to wear on my wedding day, and it is just beautiful. And we've been married 6 years now, I think. Where's my mirror? And I still haven't hit pan on it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. MAC, you just know what you're doing when it comes to highlight. Just stunning highlight. It's an OG. It's an OG favorite for me. So you guys, thank you for letting me just talk to you and let me do this. Like I said, I normally plan out my videos a little bit better, but with the circumstance today, like I said, I'm being a silly mom with guys, thank you for letting me talk to you today. Just thank you for being here with me. Even if you're not a mom, you can still understand what change is. You know, a new job, moving. You know, a lot of people know what it's like to move. Even kids starting a new school year. You know, you're leaving behind what you're comfortable with and moving on to the things that are a little bit unknown. It's all wonderful, but it's very bittersweet. So that's how it is for me. So y'all know, the Skindinavia, I don't have to even say it. I do like to take beauty blender. This I bought, see how thin it is? I can't remember, did I buy this from, yes, I bought this from Shop Miss A, and I said I would, you know, let you guys know how it is. I love it. It's great for like pressing like powder in, like underneath the eye, or concealer, or like I like to you know, like I said, after I put my setting spray on, I kind of like to push it in just a little bit gently. Oh, one more thing I forgot. I always like to highlight the inner corner, and I'm going to do that with the color Dreamer right here. This is a great palette. I mean, it's a really good palette. All right, let's do that, you guys. And here is the final look. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Again, thank you for just letting me unload on you. I love talking to you guys. Please please subscribe to my channel, comment below. Like I said, I will respond to your comment. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.